Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So many of you were requesting what should be our approach or what should be our strategy in last 1 month of EPFO examination. So in this video we are going to discuss the same, what should be our strategy in this last 1 month before we write the exam on 2nd of July 2023. So as you are aware, both the papers will be conducted on same day. EO will be conducted in forenoon session, whereas APFC will be held in afternoon session. So what is the agenda of this video? So we are going to cover the following points, which is there on our screen. First we'll just see the syllabus. Now I have again written syllabus here, or why we are discussing syllabus again here, because I have tried to simplify the syllabus and divide it into number of blocks, and as per block you can approach, as per your strength and weakness you can approach a particular block. Then we'll see what is the strategy in last 1 month, how we should proceed in these remaining 28 days. Then the most important point is the important topics, what are the important topics in every subject, that we'll going to see. And finally some points about test series and some general points about this examination. Now let us start with this video, and first we'll discuss about the syllabus. So as you can see on your screen, I have tried to divide the syllabus into different blocks. So on left hand side is your EOAO syllabus, and this four subjects which I have mentioned here is basically of SSC banking nature, what is studied by these aspirants of SSC and banking. So we have English, quantitative aptitude, current events, and computer applications. So this we can call as block one, and these are the subjects which are well prepared by SSC banking aspirants, and even CSE aspirants prepare quantitative aptitude and current events for their CSE examination. Then we have block 2, which is the GS subjects, and in this we have history, that is Indian freedom struggle, economy, polity, and science. So these are the four subjects which has been categorized in block 2. And then last block is what is the demand of this examination, what will be required once we join the EPFO organization. So we have industrial relations, labor laws, social security, and accounting. So these four subjects we can categorize into block 3. So this is what is the syllabus of enforcement officer, accounts officer examination. If you are writing APFC examination, so there are some extra topics which need to be covered apart from this EOAO syllabus, and let us see what are those extra topics. First of all, apart from general mental ability, we have statistics in APFC syllabus. So this is what we'll have to cover if you are writing APFC examination. Then we have population development and globalization topic. Then apart from history, we have culture and heritage, which is mentioned as part of our syllabus. And finally we have auditing and insurance. So this is what is the extra topics which is the demand of APFC examination. Now this is what is the syllabus, and as per your strength and weakness you can prepare or devote time to these many blocks. Now block 3 is something new which every aspirant has to study for this examination, but block 1 and block 2 many of you have already covered in some or the other examination preparation. So let us see what should be the strategy in this last 28 days. So today is 3rd of June, so from tomorrow onwards there are 28 days which is left for this examination. So what I have done here, I have again categorized the subjects into block wise and then allocated the time for preparation of that particular subject. So if you consider block 1, that is English, maths, and current event, so these are the subjects which require daily practice. So I would suggest you to devote 2 hours time till the examination is happening, because English will have to build the vocabulary, and for mathematics also you'll have to practice the various topics, and for current events you have to prepare at least last 8 to 10 months current affairs. So the current events which are asked in this examination, it is completely different from what is asked in CSE examination. So what are the important topics of current events, that we'll see shortly in this video itself. So I would advise you to alternatively prepare these three subjects daily for 2 hours. Suppose today or for tomorrow you prepare English for 1 hour and maths for 1 hour, and then day after tomorrow you can devote time for maths and current events, like this. So based on your strength and weakness you can alternatively devote daily 2 hours till this exam is 4. And one more subject is there in block 1, that is computer applications. So this subject can be covered in 2 days. It can be finished in 2 days. I have written a detailed write-up on how to approach or how to prepare computer applications. You have to go to Telegram and search at the rate UPSC EPFO 2023 exam. So when you search this, you will find the Telegram channel of mine, and there I have written a detailed write-up like how to proceed for computer application. And believe me, this subject gives us good returns. That is, the once you study, we have good output from this subject. So don't skip this computer application subject, because definitely you can tackle or attempt these questions in examination. And don't give much time, more than 2 days, for these computer applications. Now coming to the GS subjects, we have four subjects: history, polity, then economy and science. These are the four subjects. Now if you see the previous year questions, what you will observe is that 45 plus questions are coming from these four subjects itself, and that is a huge weightage. So there will be total 120 questions in our examination. So out of 120, 45 plus questions are coming from these GS subjects. So those who are thorough with these four subjects, they have a good chance to qualify the written examination. Now how you can go in these 28 days? For first 25 days, you can devote 13 plus 12 days. So for first 13 days, you can prepare any two subjects out of these four subjects, and in remaining 12 days, you can cover the remaining two subjects. Now, which subjects to prepare in first 13 days and which subjects to cover in the last 12 days, it is up to you. As per your strength and weakness, you can devote alternatively the number of days required for preparation of these subjects, and the remaining last 3 days you can devote it for revision, because revision is essential in GS subjects. Unless you have revised it multiple times, it will be difficult for you to recall in actual examination. So if you see the questions, they are mostly factual in nature, and mostly they are easy to moderate type. If you have studied well, you have revised well, you will be able to answer them. And let me clearly say this: if you want to qualify the written examination, you have to have good accuracy here in this block 2 subjects. Now the last block is the block 3, which covers IR, labor laws, social security, accounting. This is for EO, AO. And for APFC, we have additional topics, that is insurance and auditing. Now, if you see the past APFC paper, you won't find much questions from insurance and auditing. Hardly 1 to 2 questions have been asked in past papers. So I would suggest you to cover these two topics in one day itself, as weightage is very less for these two subjects. Even if this time weightage is increased, there won't be more than 3 or 4 questions, and it can be easily covered in one day. Now, what about these four topics? Now you can devote first 12 to 13 days for IR and labor laws. For industrial relations, you have to prepare the theory of industrial relation, then what is trade union, what are wages, different types of wages, then what is the labor, Indian labor force, and all those topics you have to prepare. And for labor laws, there are some 7 to 8 laws which are most important for our examination. If you have seen the previous year questions of labor laws, you will find that most of the time questions are repeated from the same laws itself. So again, there is a good chance that they will frame some or the other question from those laws itself in labor laws topic. And for social security, the focus should be on the government schemes which are in news in last 5 to 10 years, because they are going much back to ask questions from this topic. Like they have asked us Atal Pension Yojana in both APFC as well as in EOAO examination. And as far as accounting is concerned, this topic is very easy. It is quite scoring. Many of us, this accounting is a new subject, especially students from science and arts background, because we have never come across this accounting. I would advise you to go through the NCERT book of class 11th and 12th, not all the chapters, only specific chapters, because if you see, most of the times they are lifting the questions or framing the questions from NCERT textbooks. You can watch my PYQ series to understand the importance of NCRTs for these kind of generalist examinations. So this is what you can prepare in last 28 days. Based on your strength and weakness, you analyze the important subjects and devote time accordingly in these last 28 days. and don't forget to do revision, because unless you revise there is no point in studying for this examination. Now let us see what are the important topics subject wise, and believe me, if you cover these topics, majority of questions you would be able to tackle in examination. So let us start. First is English. So in EOAO, 20 questions are fixed from English subject, and in APFC 10 to 15 questions are being asked in from English subject. Now what topics to be prepared? So these I have written after doing PYQ analysis, because these are the only documents which can help us to visualize what they would be asking from particular subject. So they will give you some words or phrases and they will ask you to identify the meaning of that phrases or particular English word. Then antonyms, synonyms you have to prepare. Then sentences will be given and you will have to find the error in the sentence. Then one word substitution is asked and comprehension passage is asked in APFC examination. So this is what is expected in English, and believe me, if you are prepared well for these last 28 days, at least if you devote 1 hour daily, 1 to 1.5 hour daily for English, you can easily score, or you can easily have high output in this English subject. As far as quantitative aptitude is considered, these are the topics which we have to prepare. Minimum these topics have to be prepared before our examination. So we have number system, profit and loss, speed, time, distance problems, then time and work, average, percentage, ratio, proportion, and mensuration. Mind you, this mensuration is very important for both APFC and EOO. So they will ask you to find the perimeter or to area, volume, or surface area, like these questions have been asked in past. And for APFC they have asked questions from arithmetic progression also, and data interpretation or pie chart based questions can also be seen in APFC examination. And as I told you, for APFC, statistics is the additional topic which we have to prepare. So at least prepare these topics, because 1 to 2 questions have been asked from statistics portion. So what is mean, mode, median, standard deviation, how to calculate the same. You should be aware of those things. Now, current events. So as I told you before also, last 8 to 10 months current events you have to prepare. You can use any coaching compilation for preparing this current events topic. It is advisable you give at least 1 hour daily to read current events, because it is very scoring area, and if you are able to remember the facts which are in news, definitely you can score well in these current events. So we have GK Today, Affairs Cloud, EduTap, Adda, or Anuj Jindal, Success Tree. Any coaching compilation PDFs you can use for preparing these current events. Now, while preparing current events, these are the important topics which should be your focus areas. Person in news, like some person is appointed on some body or some important personality has died. So such kind of questions have been asked. Then sports. Sports is quite important, like cricket, hockey, tennis, or any Olympic event. So questions have been asked in the past. Then acronyms, like what is Niti in Niti Ayog. Then they have asked us the acronym based question regularly. Then awards in news. Then sports awards, they have asked Bharat Ratna Award, Padma Awards. So these can be asked. Then books and authors, the important books and the author of that books, the important days which are celebrated throughout the year, like we have World Environment Day coming up on 5th of June. So important days can be asked in event our examination. Then major defense exercises, India and some other country are participating in defense exercises. So what was the name of that defense exercise, where it was held, which all countries participated. Then here you can prepare international groupings as well, like BIMSTEC, SARC, then SCO, Quad. These questions can be asked this time in our examination. Then important policy and schemes of Government of India, like government has launched space policy 2023. So such kind of questions they might ask you, like how aware you are with respect to policies and schemes of government. Then global indices or indexes can be asked, what was India's ranking, what are various indicators in that global index. And static GK is what you have to prepare, like they have repeatedly asked the question from they have a railway, they have given the railway zone and where it headquarters is located. Then the important dams which are in news, important national highways. So such kind of questions can be asked in our examination. Moving on to computer applications, first topic which we have to prepare is terminologies and abbreviations. So what is LAN, what is RAM, USB, SMPS, GSM, CDMA. These are some abbreviations they have asked in past. So this time also they can ask what is meant by HTTP, what is uh, full form of any other thing they will give you, and they will ask us to identify the full form of that. Then basic functions of computer, you should be aware what is the input, what is output, what is the storage capacity, how computer performs its basic functions. Then the important components of the computer system, what is CPU, control unit, the brain of computer, how it functions, what is cache memory, then what is meant by registers which are used in computers. So this you should be aware, registers which are used in computer. Then the important technologies, so in past they have asked us about Bluetooth technology, 2G and 3G. What is G in this 2G and 3G, they have asked. What is cloud computing is what they have asked earlier also. So you should be aware of the important technologies which are in use in last 2 3 years, particularly in this computer applications area. So this is what you have to prepare in computer application. Further detailed write up I have written on that Telegram post, you can go through it. Now coming to the GS subject, first is history. Now for history, if you go through previous questions, mostly the questions asked are factual in nature. So what topics you have to prepare? The important books and journals which are written by our freedom fighters, who were their authors, the book was based on which theme, when the book was published, the year of book, they might ask such kind of questions. Then the important organizations which were launched during our freedom struggle, who was the founder of that organization, year of establishment, when was that organization launched, like All India Trade Union Congress. So it came up in 1920s. Then the place where or the headquarter of that organization can be asked. Then the important governor generals and viceroys, which governor general did what kind of work when he was posted in India. So such kind of questions can be asked. Then the chronology of important events. Already we have got questions in past also from chronology. So you should be aware of the major events in our freedom struggle. Then industry, what was the status of industry, agriculture in British rule. Then present and tribal movements can be asked, the leader of tribal movement and where that tribal movement was located, the region, the leaders associated with the movements can be asked. Then events after arrival of Gandhi are very important. We have got questions every time from post 1915 onwards, like non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, those roundtable conferences, then Quit India movement, and post 1942 events are also important, like Cripps mission, Cripps proposals, then Lithgow, what he did, partition plan, then all such events you are aware. So you have to prepare basically this type of stuff, and while preparing your focus should be on factual things. And for APFC, questions have been asked from ancient and medieval also, although it is not clearly mentioned in our syllabus. But every time if you see the past APFC paper, you will get questions from ancient and medieval as well. So you can go through these topics. You can prepare Mahajan Padas, they have already asked. Then Bhakti Sufi movement, the important saints of that era, and important travelers who visited India, what they wrote about India, Vijayanagar Empire, Mughal era, and some amount of world history you should be aware, because in APFC they are asking questions from world history as well, and they have already asked questions on World War One, World War Two events. So this time they might ask you some other important event, or French Revolution, American Revolution, or important chronology based questions have also been asked in APFC, like when the Russian Revolution took place, when was the American Civil War was happening. So such kind of questions they have already asked. Now moving on to the polity subject, these are the important chapters. So polity is very that kind of subject which gives us good returns. So already many of you have already read the Lakshmikant. What you have to do is just revise the things. So constitutional developments, the important acts which were passed leading to the formulation of constitution is important. We have already got question from Government of India Act 1935. Then the composition of constituent assembly, who got how many votes, who was the member of important committees, chairperson of committees. Factual questions can be asked. Then parliament is the most important chapter, as it is important in CSE. So it is important in our this examination also, and we have got at least two questions from parliament or the important committees of parliament. So don't skip this chapter. Then state legislature, council of ministers is what important. Then president and governor we can expect question, because last year itself we got new president. Then preamble, fundamental right, fundamental duties, directive principle of state policy is important. Absolutely, you should be aware of the important articles and what is mentioned in those articles is what they can be asked. Then we have got questions on citizenship and emergency provisions as well. So you should be aware of the financial emergency and the other kind of emergency. Important articles and constitutional amendments should be prepared, because they can give us the questions in match the following form. Then constitutional and non-constitutional bodies can be prepared, because we have got questions on CAG in past, Niti Aayog, so they can be asked. Statutory bodies, the regulatory bodies, question might be asked. And moving on to the economic portion, it is quite easy basically. So focus should be on banking. In that, monetary policy like contractionary, expansionary, repo rate, reverse repo rate, open market operations, which you have already prepared for your CSE or other examination. Then the Reserve Bank of India, scheduled commercial bank, regional rural banks, this should be prepared. Then what fiscal policy is important. Here you have to prepare FRBM Act as well. Then Finance Commission is quite important here. FRBM Act, Finance Commission. Then most important is national income. We have got questions every time. So what is GDP, what is GNP, what is factor cost, how it is calculated. So questions will be asked from here. Then from investment, FDI, FPI, basic difference between them, trends of FDI, which sector got maximum FDI, who was the, which country uh, has the maximum FDI contribution. So such kind of questions are expected. Then economic institutions they have asked in past. The IMF question came, World Bank, WTO, International Labour Organization. So we have to prepare when they were established, what is their main objective, what kind of work they are doing, and who are the important members of these organizations. Then agriculture basic questions can be expected, Rabi crops, Kharif crops, then the important pulses which are grown, leading producer states can be asked, and microeconomics, demand and supply kind of chapters you have to prepare. So these are some important topics from economy. Then moving on to science, which is again a scoring subject. So for EO, basically you have to prepare physics, chemistry, and biology (PCB). In physics, you have to prepare these chapters which I have written here. And apart from this, you are not getting any question from any other chapters. If you are done with these chapters, you will be able to attempt 80% questions in EOAO examination. So do go through these topics, and I am telling you, NCRT science NCRTs are most important here. At least go through ninth and 10th class NCRTs. Don't skip them, because in past as it is, questions have been framed from NCRT textbook. And for APFC, apart from the above chapters, you have to prepare the important technologies like nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, its applications, Internet of Things, space sector, defense related aspects, cloud computing, and major developments related to science in last 2 years should be prepared, because APFC paper will have one difficulty level one notch higher than enforcement officer, and here we are expecting multiple statement based questions. So if you see the 2016 question paper of APFC, and in particular science question, you will get the idea what I'm talking about here. Now moving on to industrial relations, these are some important chapters like the perspective, perspectives of industrial relations. You have to prepare, questions have been asked every time. Then the Indian labor force, trade unions, like how they play an important role between the labor workers and the management. Then industrial disputes, how they are resolved, what kind of various disputes are there. Then wages is very important topic, what is fair wage, what is minimum wage, and workers participation in industries, this is again important. For labor laws, we have to prepare, as I told you before, these are the important acts which we have to prepare. So daily one act you can prepare till exam is over and revise it again and again. So first prepare basic theory related to labor welfare and then cover these important acts like Factories Act 1948, Industrial Disputes Act 1947, Maternity Benefit Act, most important. Then Minimum Wages Act, Payment of Gratuity Act, Trade Union Act, Employees Provident Fund Act, Employees State Insurance Corporation ESIC Act, Employees Compensation Act. So these are 9 important acts from which again and again questions have been asked in past EPFO examination. And after preparing these acts, do go through the 4 new labor codes which government came up in 2020. So at least some basic idea you should be aware of new labor codes. Now moving on to the social security, you should be aware of the term social security, what is the meaning of word social security, why the governments focus on social security. Various definitions have been given by important organizations like ILO, World Bank. So you should be aware which organization gave what kind of definition of social security. Then prepare basic theory of social security. Here you can refer the visionized document. It is of 10 pages and it is definitely helpful to understand the basic theory of social security. Just simply search Visionize Social Security in Google, you will get the PDF. It is of 10 pages, I guess. And then the most important is the schemes you have to prepare, like Atal Pension Yojana, Janani Suraksha Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Vayo Vandana Yojana. Such kind of questions they have asked in past from social security schemes. I am again repeating, schemes is very important in social security. At least 3-4 questions are coming from these social security schemes. Now moving on to the accounting part, these are some of the important chapters: profit and loss, partnership, then what is nominal expenditure, real expenditure, costing, you should prepare financial statement, accounting ratios, and Companies Act 2013 also can be prepared on. Believe me, accounting is one of the most easiest subject if you understand the basics of it. And for enforcement officer, this subject is very important because at least 12 to 15 questions they have asked every time from accounting. For APFC, this is not that important, but those who are focusing on EO, AO, they have to prepare accounting in detail. This time also there will be 10 to 12 questions from accounting subject. For auditing and insurance, which is part of APFC syllabus, you can refer to this IRDAI website. Basics is covered there very well, and do prepare types of auditing. Apart from this, I am not seeing any merit or any output which is there from these two topics. So don't devote much time to these two subjects. Now, in APFC, these are the most important subjects. Sorry, these are the additional topics which are there for APFC. These are not there for enforcement officer. So population development and globalization is what they have mentioned. So for population, go through census 2011. The important data you should be aware and important trends you should be aware. Then question can be asked from maternal mortality rate, infant mortality rate, what is population pyramid, what is demographic dividend. This question is already asked in one of the previous examination. For development, just go through sustainable development goals and millennium development goals and what is India's status on that, how much progress we have seen in these goals. And for globalization, just go through basic theory from NCRT. Simply search NCRT globalization, you will get the PDF of that globalization chapter and just read that chapter. That would be enough for this examination. Now in APFC syllabus, geography and environment is not mentioned, but in past papers we have definitely got the questions from geography and environment, and it would be wise to prepare these two subjects. So Indian geography is what you have to prepare: important states, union territories, capitals, because in last APFC exam they asked the number of states and union territories in India. Then rivers is the most important topic. Last time we got 2 questions from rivers itself. Like one question was, I think, on Ayodhya is situated on which river, and I think one question we got on the river and its tributaries. Also prepare the important cities which are located on rivers. Then islands can be prepared, soil and climate topic can be prepared, what soils are found in India, what crops are grown in those soil, what conditions are required for that soil formation. Then vegetation can be prepared, so deciduous forest, rainforest, important trees which are grown in that area. Then physiography is most important here, focus on the Himalayas and Western Ghats, because we have got question on Western Ghats in earlier APFC paper. Then for environment, prepare basics of pollution, like they asked us acid rain in one of the examination. So what is SPM? They asked suspended particulate matter. So this time they might ask question on PM 2.5, PM 10. Then the Bharat stage norms question can come. Then national park, wildlife sanctuary, tiger reserve, Ramsar sites. We did got question on Ramsar site in previous APFC exam. Then basics of biodiversity can be prepared, in situ conservation, ex situ conservation, the important biodiversity concepts can be prepared. So although this is not mentioned in syllabus, but I will advise you to give one day to prepare these topics, 1 to 2 days. Now these are the important topics which you should definitely cover for your examination. Now let us see about test series. Now in market, not many options are available for test series. You can go with any coaching test series. First solve sectional papers of that particular subject and then solve few full length mocks. That would suffice for this examination. And as I'm repeating, any coaching would do, whether it is EduTab, Success Tree, Anuj Jindal, or Rahul sir is there, whose tests are there. So you can solve any test series, uh, basically just to practice the things or to learn some new concept. And there are few points which I would like to tell before concluding today's video. You will have to do daily revision because not much time is left, and if you see the nature of paper, so EO will be mostly factual in nature. There will be one-liner questions and single options will be given. And as far as APFC's question, many of the questions will be factual and few questions will be analytical in nature. Now, what do I mean by analytical here? Means multiple statement-based questions will be asked from here. They will give a question and then some statements will be given as it is given in CSE examination, and then you have to choose the correct option like one only, one and two only, all of the above, like this. So APFC will have some difficulty level, but EOAO will be completely factual. You have to identify which block is your strength and then devote time accordingly. Which is whatever is your weakness, you can give maximum time to that. Don't skip any subject. Again, I am telling you, we have to cover each and every subject in remaining days. This is a golden chance, I would say. It is a good opportunity for those who are looking for government job, because once the exam is over, results will come in 1.5 month, and by Diwali interviews will be conducted, and by next year you might join your EPFO organization. So the exam duration is quite less, and we never know when the next advertisement might came for EPFO examination. So it's a very good opportunity for all of you. So focus seriously on your preparation and at least attempt 90 plus questions. If you are attempting less than that, you are already out of race, because as this is generalist exam where high number of students are appearing for this examination, and this is not conducted regularly, so many students are competing for the seats which are available. So last time if you see, for EOAO 187 was the cutoff, I think, and when APFC was conducted, 66.5 was the cutoff out of 100 for unreserved category. So you can see the difficulty level, or the competition level basically, and your target should be to score around 190 to 200 marks this time, because both the examinations will be of 300 marks. So that's it from today's video. I hope you find this video useful. All the best for your EPFO examination. If you have doubts regarding any preparation or the strategy video, you comment in comment section. I will try to reply to you. If you have liked the strategy video, do like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would help me basically. So thank you and all the best.